using G24 to inform you is choosing the best of information from Gabon, Africa and the world. Good evening and welcome, dear televiewers. In opening of this newscast, we take a quick look at the summary. Sport news: as a delegation of the official sponsor presented the trophy to the Gabonese president Ali Bongo Ondimba this Wednesday 24th in Libreville as part of the trophy tour of the African Cup of Nations Total Energy 2021. Also, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa have called for increased cooperation to bring peace to conflict-ridden zones in regions of Africa. Stay tuned, I'll be back in a fist of seconds. Once more, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We open with this information as part of the trophy tour of the African Cup of Nations Total Energy 2021. A delegation of the official sponsor presented the trophy to the Gabonese president Ali Bongo Ondimba this Wednesday 24th in Libreville. We listen to John Cyril Ondomungu and the presidential press for the report.
In the arms of the President of the Republic, the trophy of the Africa Cup of Nations Total Energy 2021, which will be held in Cameroon. Like Gabon, 18 countries out of the 24 qualified for this major football competition should have the opportunity to host this cup as part of the trophy tour.
We came today in representation of Total Energies, which is the official sponsor of the African Cup of Nations, which will be happening in Cameroon, and we came to present the trophy of the African Cup of Nations to the President of the Republic, Ali Bongo Ondimba. As part of our actions, this trophy travels through 18 countries among the 24 qualified for the final phase of the Afcon. And Gabon is a stage for which we wanted to offer the head of state the first opportunity to present this trophy.
Algeria, the reigning African champion, was the first stop on this journey. For this event in Libreville, several activities involving students and service stations are planned, culminating in a presentation caravan this Friday.
Furthermore, it is official: Gabon has just taken the head of the Permanent Consultative Committee of the United Nations responsible for security issues in Central Africa. A new diplomatic challenge, as the meetings of this committee are held since last Monday and will end this Friday, November 26th in Libreville. Yannick Enge has the details.
According to the information cited by the Maghreb Intelligence, which has just made it public its ambition, it was during his last stay in this African country at the beginning of November that Ali Bongo Ondimba, the Gabonese president, and Mohamed VI would have discussed the issue. The same source also states that for the implementation, an official delegation of the Gabonese specialists could be sent to Morocco from November 25th. Let us recall that it was in last July that the Sharifian Kingdom announced the production of vaccines against COVID-19 thanks to a partnership between the Chinese laboratory Sinopharm and Sotema of Morocco. The first doses should be available on the market before the end of this year, probably in December, according to the local media. Since the launch of the campaign, Gabon has already received 400,000 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine produced in China, as well as doses of the American vaccine Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, why not a Sputnik 5 from Russia. Currently, only 10% of the population is vaccinated in the country. Gabon is aiming for a 60% vaccination rate by the end of 2022.
You must have understood this. That was the wrong report, but let's move on a more positive note. President Uhuru Kenyatta and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa have called for increased cooperation to bring peace to conflict-ridden regions in Africa. This was at the start of Kenyatta's 2-day visit to South Africa. Let's take a look at the story. In a meeting in Pretoria on Tuesday, November 23rd, the two leaders discussed the grave situation in Ethiopia and agreed that there is an urgent need for all parties to commit to an immediate, indefinite and negotiated ceasefire. They also condemned recent bomb attacks in Uganda's capital of Kampala, which claimed the life of at least 3 civilians in what police described as a coordinated attack by extremists opposed to the government. The two leaders discussed the problem of Islamic extremist violence in South Africa's neighbor, Mozambique, and in other countries across Africa. Also, Cyril Ramaphosa equally acknowledged the fact that the collaborative efforts by some African states in fighting the menace has so far yielded some positive results, but believes a lot more can be done in order to prevent any future occurrence. A number of agreements were signed between the ministers of both countries. As part of his 2-day visit, Kenyatta is expected to visit the Aspen Pharmacare factory in Kibera, formerly Port Elizabeth, on Wednesday to see the production of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines there. The facility is assembling these vaccines and can produce about 220 million doses per year, many of which are being exported throughout Africa. Kenya is one of South Africa's largest trading partners in Africa outside the 15-nation Southern African Development Community. The two leaders are hopeful of an increase in trade between South Africa and Kenya in the coming days. With over 60 South African companies currently operating in Kenya, the country exported $500 million worth of goods to Kenya in 2020 compared to imports of about $22 million. An inch of culture now, as Ethiopian artifacts stolen in 1868 have finally returned home following months of negotiations with the British Museum. Jan Leimangoy has the details.
After a century and a half hidden in private collections, 13 stolen Ethiopian artifacts have finally returned home following months of negotiations. The items, which include an intricately latticed professional cross, a richly colored triptych depicting Jesus' crucifixion, and an ornate red and brass imperial shield, are part of the largest artifact situation in Ethiopia's history. These artifacts were taken in 1868 after the Battle of Magdala between the British and Ethiopian empires. Some of the objects have been ordered in an auction in Britain in June by a private seller descended from a British soldier who fought in Magdala. Several of the objects were acquired by the Sherazad Foundation, a cultural non-profit organization, and headed to the Ethiopian embassy in September. They were returned to Addis Ababa this weekend and will go on display on Ethiopian museums, but the work is far from over, according to officials. Officials said the items are part of the largest act of restitution in the country's history. The Ferry Malays, Ethiopia's ambassador to the UK, said that there are many artifacts that were looted from Magdala. We couldn't manage to bring back all of them, but this is the first time in the country's history to bring back looted artifacts in this quantity, he said.
Also, the Turkish lira dipped to a new historic low against the US dollar on Tuesday, raising concerns among local residents. For more details, we listen to John Cyril Ondomingue.
The lira shrunk over 15% to 13.26 against the US dollar on Tuesday, losing about 40% of its value since the start of the year. The currency has shed nearly a third of its value in November alone. Many residents believe the plunge has seriously affected the Turkish economy and their own lives and are worried about the future.
In my opinion, the upvaluation of the US dollar and the devaluation of the lira means the collapse of Turkey. From this morning to evening, our currency has depreciated by at least 10%, so we are falling into poverty.
The Central Bank of the Republic of Turkey on November the 18th announced that it will cut its benchmark interest rate to 15% from 16%. Previously, the bank cut interest rates in September and October respectively by 300 basis points in total. The lira has been one of the worst performers among emerging markets in recent years. In 2018, it lost 25% of its value in a diplomatic crisis with the United States. Some 76% of respondents in a recent survey conducted by Metropole Company, one of the major survey companies in Turkey, believe that the economy is worsening, while only 17% believe that Turkey is heading for better prospects.
Last but not the least, the cumulative reported deaths due to COVID-19 might exceed 2 million by March next year in Europe. The World Health Organization's European branch warned about this boom on Tuesday, calling for more people to continue to observe COVID-19 protocols. Futibi Mulekar narrates this story.
According to an article published on the World Health Organization website, Europe's daily death toll caused by COVID-19 almost approached 4,200 in the past week, doubling the figure in late September. In total, the 53 countries in the region have lost more than 1.5 million people due to the coronavirus. According to data from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, COVID-19 has now become the #1 death cause across Europe and Central Asia. The World Health Organization warned that there might be high or extreme stress on hospital beds in 25 countries and high or extreme stress in intensive care units in 49 out of 53 countries between now and early March. Moreover, by spring next year, the cumulative reported deaths are projected to reach over 2.2 million in the region, according to current trends. The World Health Organization said the dire situation is mainly caused by the highly contagious Delta variant, slackened anti-pandemic restrictions, lack of vaccination, and reduced protectiveness, as well as the fact that people are turning indoors as temperatures drop. Hans-Henri Kluge, World Health Organization Regional Director for Europe, called on all countries to get vaccinated and stick to personal protective measures such as mask wearing and social distancing.
This information marks the end of this newscast, but first, let's review the main headlines. Sport news, as a delegation of the official sponsor presented the trophy to Gabonese President Ali Bongo Ondimba this Wednesday 24th in Libreville as part of the trophy tour of the African Cup of Nations Total Energy 2021. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa have called for increased cooperation to bring peace to conflict-ridden regions in Africa. This newscast was brought to you by the entire courtesy of the English newsroom of G24. Special thanks to the news director Richard Sangoma. At 8 p.m. local time, Gaoma Pesi, the legend, informs you in French. Don't forget, information continues on our channel and social media. Subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more programs. Till we meet again, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.